And welcome guys to today's little video. Now today's little video will be involved in a basic, very basic enemies to get you guys going on killing them, okay? So that you can get your turrets shooting stuff and things of that nature, okay? This is a very basic form. The enemies don't do anything except roll to a position. That's it, okay? Now, they are all rolling to a specific position of 0, 0, 0. Because later on, we are going to have loops that set all the enemies to certain buildings that's in our game that are very important. We want the enemies to attack them, like our power or our resources, things like that. So, in all case, let's get to our little code so that we can get maybe this tank or something like that to walk toward a certain location. Okay, so let's see this in action, which you probably already have. Disable that one. We don't need this one yet. Now, in this form, I'm going to use a cube. And if you see this, these are the enemies that you'll have. They get instantiated and they just crawl to 0, 0, 0. Okay? That's all they do for now. Because we have to write a bunch of logic and, really bump out the problems we may face between loops and all that other stuff. Okay? So we got a basic enemy cube. Okay? Well, in this basic enemy cube, we have a Unity's version of a NavMesh agent. Okay? If you don't know how to set up your scene, you have to go into this, and whatever you're using for the ground, I'm using a quad because it's cheap on processor and all that other stuff. Okay, you have to then go up to window. Okay, if you're using Unity's version, if you're using A-Star or something like that, you're going to have to edit the code a little. But this is Unity's version. Okay, we go here to navigation. We go here to bake. You just hit the bake button and it'll do a pretty good job with the default stuff. Okay? No lie, it does okay. Alright? And that's all you need to start the AI and stuff like that. Now, for the script that you need, by default, you will have to put a rigid body and it has to be kinematic. Is kinematic, and you have to have this checked, okay? If you do not, I think you get an error. Okay? Pretty sure you get an error. Let's see how that works. We'll hit this in here and it should air out. No, it doesn't. Wow. I was actually, yes, I wanted to have a rigid body kinematic. And I know exactly why that was there. If you don't have this right here, my bullets will not be detected when they're shot. That's right, because I'm using physics bullets. So I have to make sure that I have a collider on here and is kinematic. Because if I don't, the enemies themselves, my bullets will go through them. Okay? So let's take a nice little look at the basic script that I've put together for you. Okay? Go in here and we will go into the code. Okay? Now, we have to have a reference to the navigational mesh agent. Okay? And we have to have using Unity Engine.ai. because they put it in namespace at 5.5 or something like that. This health thing right here, you could use any type of damage you want, but just to get them walking, you don't need this. So if you want some form of other damage, you can just exit it out. But I use a class. Now I have a public set goal, because later on I'm going to have a master script set my goals. Okay. Now in the very start of the program, I go agent.setDestination to enemy data.get goal. Now, enemy data is another script that's completely a static script, okay? Because it's our data layer, okay? We have a list of goals, okay? Some timers, some prefab, pretty easy stuff. But the get enemy function is exactly this. Get what? Get enemy? Oh, get goal. Okay, get goal. Alright. If goal is greater than 0, we don't randomize and stuff. We just go to vector3.0. Okay? Because we want a default thing. No matter what, it's going to have a vector3. Okay? So if the goal list of vector3s, stuff that the enemy is interested in, is greater than 0, it'll do a random one and return a vector3, which in turn sets a position for this guy. Okay, so let's say I have a master building thing, like I said, and this building, if it dies, game over. If it lives, then we keep playing, right? Well, this guy right here will be interested in that, right? That sounds like something the enemy would be interested in. So the count would be greater than 0. So he'll get anything that he's interested in that piques their interest to like the end game will be right here. Okay? And health dot equals this transform, that's for destruction. The set goal is just for setting the destination, which, yeah. See, we do that right here for the setter. Which in all on. Oh, yeah. Why do we? Oh, because I want the setter to do the job of it. That's the public form of it. Yeah, okay. This damage, this is how I'm damaging my player, okay? We've got a health object. I go health tech. I added a float and then just have a protection level thing on here. The health object is specifically this, okay? Very easy. A lot of times games will have a health variable that's a float and then damage. I wanted to get away from it. I've got this damage code right here that calls my protected function. So he just passes the damage on our bullets in here, and then my health data, my navigational thing, when I override it, this does all the work that I want it to do. So the health object has the amount of health that I want. So let's say at runtime I wanted to buff up my enemy. I could do that by doing exactly this. I can call a function that goes, hey, you have a new health object that's health tech 50, okay? And at runtime, I could instantiate a new object and he will have new health and everything. Very easy to do, and I won't have to worry about setting all these other variables and all this other crap. I can automatically just go, hey, do this. Booyah! right? Right. And if I wanted to pull the enemies, it would be very easy for me to do that. I could write another function in my health object class that's protected, virtual, void, and we could call this spawned. Okay? And what this will do is just reset health. Write code in it, whatever, you know? And it could be very easy to reset their health or anything else that we want. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but the thing about it is the agent needs health, okay? So he can freaking die. Because why have an NPC walking around if you can't kill it? That's just dumb. So we have the enemy agent. Pretty easy stuff, right? And then we have enemy data. Pretty easy class, right? And this always exists too. So I don't have to worry about null references or anything like that. I don't have to worry about that one either. But the only thing that I think you guys will have is our mono behavior. Okay? Because we have a static reference. This is actually in the actual whole level. It calls the start for enemy start. It calls the update for enemy update. Pretty easy. Then we have a return thing to get the static reference. Because this isn't public, I had it doing a function. And then in here, I've got a get random enemy. And this just goes through the list and a random not range prefab count and returns the prefab. So in our get enemy thing, when we or after we instantiate stuff, okay, we call get enemy. And what this enemy does is, you see this prefab right here? That's the thing that we want to spawn. Alright? And what that does is we spawn a random enemy. So whatever's in our variable for our manager, we have a complete list of them. And it's exposed in the editor. Okay? We will go prefab equals enemy manager dot get manager dot random enemy, which just returns a game object. You know, yeah, I can put this all in here and everything else, but then we run into the problem of, hey, when am I going to instantiate my list? When am I going to call start? When am I going to do this update? A whole lot of other stuff that I just don't want to deal with. Okay? It's very easy. And two, a lot of this right here will be easier when the game unloads all the assets. You know, when you're doing start, you know, you're starting your level. Most of this stuff will, it takes a minute, you know, so you got to, you know, really think about how you're going to start your game versus how you're loading it. And two, this list, actually not this list, but oh crud. Oh yeah, because this is static and it's all the time around here, we don't have to worry about unloading and reloading. I never have to worry about this being attached to a game object in the level. I don't have to worry about duplicates or nothing, which is nice. This, on the other hand, this is what runs our enemy. But that's okay, because this really doesn't do much, you know? And two, in our main game layer, we can do a required component. Required component. And I think we have to do type of requires a single component. What would this require? Let's say Power Manager. We have to have a Power Manager where the script is. So what this will do is, if this doesn't have a Power Manager script attached to it, this game object, it will attach it for us. Which brings a whole list of other stuff. But we don't have to have this here. We can delete this here. Okay. And where our main game layer is, our game behavior, which we have to have one, we can do that. Power Manager. What's another script we need? Pool lookup. And then enemy manager. Okay, and let's go into our Unity thing to see what this actually does. Okay, if you don't know about this, this is going to be really cool for you. Now, you see this enemy pool lookup? I'm going to try to delete this. And see, it won't let me. It actually physically won't let me. I'll hit it, boom. It pulls up a window. You guys probably can't see it, but it won't let me. Okay? And the next cool thing is, let's make us a new game object. Create empty game object here. Call this temp just for a second. And then we're going to go game behavior. Okay? Now watch when I attach this script. Okay? Watch what happens when I attach this script. Boom. It attaches everything else. It doesn't fill in the variables and stuff, but that ain't nothing. But it automatically attached all that other scripting stuff. So it definitely helps to put something like that. If you're worried about, the attaching part, then you can do that. You can also do that to our other script that requires a NavMesh agent. Now, just a second. Actually, no. You get the gist of it. But, this is a basic form. It's not meant to be complicated or very good. Okay? It just does one specific thing. Alright, this will get more advanced as the tutorials go on, but like I said, we have to get the basic stuff in and get it running. Then we start refactoring and making it better. Because baby steps are a lot easier to deal with than this big old huge bunch of scripts. Okay? Because when you get a huge script, then I have to do a tutorial that's going to be like an hour long just for one single script, which you guys are going to be very tired of hearing me talk at that point. So be patient, guys. And this is Wardon over and out. And I hope you enjoyed the video and learned a few things. If you didn't, well, sorry. And if you liked it, like, hit, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think and if this is going in the direction that you guys like anyway. Because I do read the comments and I do put, if you guys comment something in there that you're wanting to see, I do put that on a list of things, okay? So please do so. If not, then, well, you know, it's just going to be longer and longer until there's enough requests. But I do have an enemy shooting and stuff like that coming. There's a better version of this coming. I just haven't, you know, tweaked all the variables and get it working the way I think. Because, you know, it's fiddly sometimes. But this is Wardon over and out.